Okay, guys, I'm going to do a part 2 on, does the ketogenic diet give you diabetes? I think that's how I'm going to title it. I'm not sure yet. In my last rant, I was going on about, this guy posted a comment on my Facebook wall and he said the ketogenic diet gave him diabetes. And I was like, okay, this is a good thing to talk about because this phrasing of physiological insulin resistance is floating around the stratosphere and people don't really understand it, and then there's all this misinformation. So basically, when your pancreas doesn't work that well and your insulin sufficiency is not on par, then you're going to have a spike in your blood glucose. That sugar can't go anywhere. Once that sugar can't be restored as glycogen or get through the Krebs cycle to give the cells energy or up to the brain, then it begins to damage because it's circulating, right? Arteries and veins squeeze up, circulate around and around and around, and now all your cells are glycating through advanced glycation end product from too much glucose. This is the issue that diabetics go through. But even if you're not a diabetic, you can still go through glycation because we're living in the modern time, eating a lot of carbs that our little amylase and our little ability and our pancreatic function can't keep up with. So my last video I said 1 gram of insulin, 1 gram of glucose, or I should reverse that. 1 gram of glucose, 1 gram of insulin. 5 grams, dude, no problem. Once we get up to 250, 300 carbs, it's a massive problem. And the irony is you need your carbs that high a lot because people put such a demand on their body, especially athletes or people who are just working long shifts. My technology's messing with me. But the point is that if you're always constant relying on large demands of glucose, but then those large amounts of glucose require even larger amounts of insulin because the body can't calibrate anymore. It just dumps insulin to the bloodstream. That insulin is also caustic and it's very damaging to the body because you might be able, like Michael Phelps, might be able to clear out the glucose and he might have incredibly efficient fat cells. There are people who have efficient fat cells. It can actually create gluconeogenesis within the fat cells, but most people do not. So if you do not have efficient fat cells and the fat cells are very efficient at storing, then glucose is just spiking, and the insulin for Michael Phelps, he can't clear that out. That takes a while to clear out of the bloodstream if you're eating a very 400 carbs a day. So that's a problem with a lot of fitness competitors who carb cycle. It's the damage of the advanced glycation end product that is such an important thing to understand because some people feel that refeeding resets their metabolism, which it really just develops a lot of food addictions and it puts a lot of stress on the system because the system likes to understand what's going on. Any type of radical, anybody who does the ketogenic diet overnight is going to experience ill effects because anybody who's on drugs, you try to take them off like that, boom, they have a rebound effect from taking their body out of the balance that it's created from that stress. So, does the ketogenic diet give you diabetes? No, you already had it. You already had a dysfunction going on with regulating blood glucose. You're not just like this healthy, muscular person, fit, and with no genetic mutations and super can methylate and great detoxification pathways, and then try the ketogenic diet and develop diabetes. That's ludicrous. Is it possible? I can assume that anything is possible, but it's highly, 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 highly unlikely. So that is a very particular problem. Yes. Yes. Whew. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Does a ketogenic diet give you diabetes? No. You already had insulin insufficiency, or you already had this reaction to have, well, like I just said, poor insulin and glucose regulation. So when you try the ketogenic diet, there's like a million things you need to consider, which is why I've become so strict. So I'd like somebody else to sit in my shoes and give advice to upwards towards 1,000 people and make sure that you are not hurting anyone. You don't know if you have mast cell issues with histamine. You don't know that. You don't know if you've got enough ox bile, if your gallbladder looks like molasses. You may not know that you are estrogen dominant women and men. So everything that you do can matter on if you're going to develop weird things. Like this woman who developed ketoacidosis, who's a non-type 1 diabetic. But once you go into, that was the title of the article. So that's a scare tactic. But when you go back into her life, she's been dieting a long time, which creates what? A blood sugar dysregulation, which makes the body overwork to get energy from freaking somewhere. I'm just saying, yes. You have to do keto for the right reasons and to be healthy in your attempts. When people ask me if you can do the ketogenic with these issues, I always say, only with the right application of it. And then they go, well, what's the right application of it? And I'm like, get your ass to bed as early as possible and learn how to get into REM state. Make sure that your detoxification pathways are highly functioning without having to do freaking cleanses forever. Because that's a problem, those cleanses. There's one guy emails me, he's like, yep, I'm still doing my cleanse. I was like, I talked to that guy like 3 months ago. What are you doing still cleansing? It's like throwing up for 3 months. That's not normal, people. Coffee enemas that take good bacteria out of your colon, that's not normal to do that all the time, and then diarrhea all the time to do these cleanses. Oh, I'm getting out my stones. If you slow things down, if you change out the quality of food, if you learn how to get into the daytime sympathetic and the nighttime parasympathetic, and if you treat yourself better, your body will learn how to detoxify. If you learn and find out what things are allergens to your body, you will detoxify. You will learn the right support. If you have vitamin D malabsorption issues, people don't even think about stuff like this. They just see keto online and they make it about weight loss, and they don't understand that if you are malabsorptive, you might have symptoms of diabetes or insulin resistance, this physiological insulin resistance response. This stuff is no joke. This stuff is real. And I act silly, because if not, I'm going to sound like a serious mother sucker. And that's just not me. This is me. This is who I am. So I really want people to potentially use a ketogenic diet to heal the body, because my application of it is so strict that the by effect of that strict but willingness in the strict behavior, because if you fight it, it's null and void. It doesn't work. You have to be like, okay, I'm going to do a process of elimination for 3 months or 6 weeks or however long. I don't care if the elimination is for a week. Try to take things out of your body that might be particular irritants and see if that could be problematic in your keto adaptation. Because going on keto and dropping your carbs when your brain is addicted to carbs in hopes to lose weight, in hopes to have the business, is not what I promote. That's a by effect. So if you lose visceral fat, because I'm not that concerned about the sub-Q fat. I'm concerned about the visceral. So for those who are athletes or fitness competitors, that's for a whole nother vanity reason. If you're going to go through that whole cycle, at least if you're going to try keto, you have to do it the right way to drop visceral and subcutaneous fat. But for everyone else, I'm really concerned about the blood sugar dysregulation, all the inflammation, all the joint inflammation, all the gut issues, all the psychological issues that come from a blood sugar dysregulation. That's what planet I'm on. Just saying. So does the ketogenic diet give you diabetes? No. Your mistakes and your body's dysfunction prior to trying keto is what sent you over the glass. That drop over the glass. How you fix that? It's in 800 videos. So for me to not sound redundant and say the same things, because keto, there's only so much that you can say about the body, right? We've got systems, and every system in your body has an enzymatic response. Everything in your body has a job to keep you alive. It's very, very complicated. It is very, very, very simple. So for me to bring up the same concepts over and over again, it's with more understanding than what I understood before. 2 years ago when I was posting videos, I wouldn't understand so clearly how the pancreas works with this physiological insulin resistance response, this diabetic response to keto. I would know schmidgens, bits. And so in my videos before, you would get that. You would get the kernels of information. But I'm telling you right now, go get a glucometer, test your fasted blood glucose, test your A1C, test your ketones to see where they're at. If your glucose is high, your ketones are most likely going to be low. And look at your lifestyle and do a journal. Because if you're not dreaming, don't even bother doing keto. Or don't expect your keto adaptation to go quickly if you're not dreaming. Because dreaming is repairing. If you don't repair at night, you can't get the business. Okay, this is a 48-year-old body's business from 6 years of not refeeding. So this is my way to show excitement for this bi-effect, this affectation of this reality. This is amazing. And what I want to share with people, because I get a lot of people in my age group, and I literally am so excited that as we enter our 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, we can still live, people. We don't have to age and feel sick and feel tired and depressed. It's like you turn on the news and our perception of reality is so subjective, but life is good. There are good things, but we have to separate through all the freaking minutia to get to anything that seems like you want to fight for something. But how can you do that if you're not hormonally balanced? That's an issue, people. They're not hormonally balanced. And if you can't think clearly, the meaning of life, what is it at this point? So when I hear people talk about other people's attitudes of this, that, and a third, I'm always thinking about what's going on the inside of their body. Because what they're saying could be subjective. Women have more oxytocin. Men have more vasopressin. What if men's testosterone is too low? Women, we don't understand men from Mars. Women are from Venus. Like women, their second half of the day, they overcrank, and this screws their blood sugar. Screws it. So if you don't want to develop this diabetic symptoms, because really that's what it's about. It's you've been dieting your whole life, and then you already have pancreatic issues, you don't even know it. You go on keto, now there's no carbs coming in. So your body starts trying to go into gluconeogenesis even more to crank up the carbohydrates, because the brain's like, hello, I can't run on so low carbohydrate. And then you got more insulin in the bloodstream, and the insulin isn't working, so the glucose rises even higher. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's what the video is about. So the rant is to try to understand you've got to look at everything in your life. If you're going to do this lifestyle, this non-BS lifestyle, you have to look at everything. You got to look under the hood, and you can't let one single thing go uncovered. And if that's too much for you, then you should not do keto. Not at all. But if you're willing to do whatever it takes, then come check out what I gotta say, because I'm really excited about this, as you guys know. So if you guys want to learn more, go to StephaniePerson.com, Stephanie the Business Person on my Facebook fan page, or Stephanie Ketogenic on my Instagram. And I'm about to peace out, because you know when I got cargo pants on, I did a last minute video. Peace.